What is up, everybody? What is up? What is up? Welcome to episode 76. I believe it is 76. Could be 77. I never double-checked that. That was an issue. I believe it's 76, though, of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. We are a podcast by two brothers who are former WWE employees who like, wrestling. We worked for, the E. You would assume we like wrestling. And those assumptions are correct. We do like to talk about wrestling.
I would hope that I liked wrestling, seeing as how the job I agreed to was watching wrestling for 8 hours a day every day.
Yeah. And we also like to talk about video games. I don't know if people know this, but I mixed the two when I worked there for a little while. It was fun. Mm-hmm. It was a fun thing. Anyway, this is the Royal Rumble and NXT TakeOver Phoenix predictions show. So what we are going to do is we are going to be doing predictions for both the Royalist Rumblist of 2019 as well as the TakeOver in Phoenix that's being done by a company known as NXT.
Tonight.
Yes, tonight. So if you're watching this on YouTube, the show's already happened. But so you can just point and laugh.
Get our thoughts on it.
Yeah, you can get our thoughts, see our predictions, be like, they got this wrong. They got this wrong.
You could be like, wow, Murpho was so bad on this, and DMurph was absolutely right.
I mean, based on how the last year has gone, that's pretty much how it's always gone. Which, speaking of, I think you've officially hit a 1-year reign, because didn't you win it at Royal Rumble last year, the title for me?
I thought I won it at, SummerSlam. I thought I lost it to you at Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, and then got it back at SummerSlam.
No, you've had it for a while since then. I think you've had it for about a year now. Because I had it from SummerSlam. I think I had it from SummerSlam of 2017 into the Royal Rumble of 2018. I think you've had it since then.
I feel like it hasn't been as long, but whatever. We'll look it up later.
Anyway, what are we talking about? A predictions championship. Basically, what we do is to add a little bit of spice to this predictionsness right here is we take this lovely WWE championship right here, and whoever holds on to it, there's black marks on the wall, so we won't have you holding that over your shoulder too much, I think. But anyway, we take that championship and we do predictions for every single pay-per-view, and whoever gets the most accurate predictions is the champion, which currently is unfortunately this guy right here next to me.
Unfortunately?
Yes. And how do predictions get decided? How do we do them? How do we determine it to make sure that it's fair? Well, it's simple. The way that we do it is that way the champion can't just automatically draw, because we have a champion's advantage rule where if we tie in predictions, which has happened several times during this reign,
and your reign,
the champion retains. But so in order to prevent the champion from deliberately picking everything that the challenger is picking, and the person without the championship is picking, so that way they end up the same and he retains, we make the champion pick first. He gets to pick first for every single match, his prediction. Then the challenger has the option of changing his prediction in the hopes of out-predicting the champion.
Well, I'm going to say good luck, because I'm going to make all my predictions at once right now. And I predict that the people who win the match will be the winners of the matches. Try beating me now.
That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. Anyway,
noted.
Let's go ahead and let's get into the first bit of predictions. We're going to get started with NXT TakeOver Phoenix. And speaking of Phoenix, I also just want to say to footballers who got into the chat and said something, I want to say hello to him. He is currently he literally sent us a message right as we were in the recording screen on Twitch, letting us know that he is en route to Phoenix, about to take off. He is going to the Royal Rumble. I'm not sure if he's going to TakeOver tonight, but safe travels to footballers.
One thing I will point out quickly, since that reminded me of it, February 8th, I'm going to an NXT house show near where we are, so I'm going to be taking as many pictures as I can and tweeting about it and all that kind of stuff. So
where would they go on Twitter in order to get all this hot NXT action?
At DMurph_42.
Boom. That's how you promote.
Yeah.
That's promotion right there.
Going to be going with my boys JJ, and one that if you've watched some of our live pay-per-view streams that we've done, my friend Chris.
Yes.
He's going to be joining me as well.
And footballers has not taken off yet. They must still be on the tarmac. He is going to both. And he says, gotta go now, guys. See ya. All right. Safe flight, footballers. Have fun. Anyway, speaking of the live showings, I don't know if I checked with you, like, what your status is for tomorrow, but I do know that at least I will be doing a watch party for Royal Rumble on Twitch by myself.
I will not be watching it tomorrow because of the fact that I have to do stuff with my wife's family for her birthday that was last week that got snowed and iced out.
But I will be here by my lonesome watching the Royal Rumble on Twitch, giving my my genuine reactions. It'll be a watch party. So head over to twitch.tv/L_Murpho.
He's got plenty of tears for when he loses.
Yep. And we will go ahead and join in and watch with me, and we'll have fun, and we'll react to the Rumble. We'll have some fun. We're gonna do. I'm gonna do a Royal Rumble pool. Basically, how that operates is that if you want to get involved, join the Discord server. You can find it via the Twitch channel page, the show notes in the audio version, or in the channel description on YouTube. Tell us in the Discord general server that you want to get in on the Royal Rumble pool. No entry. We're not paying any money. This is just for fun. Basically, what we're going to do is everybody who is involved is going to get their names. We're going to put all 30 numbers 1 through 30 into a hat, shake them up, and then I'm going to go name by name. We're going to divvy up evenly picks based on names, and I will pick who gets what numbers. We'll go, okay, so it's Murpho's turn. He gets 15. Then he gets 17. Then he gets 8. Then he gets 1. And then we'll do DMurphs and do that. Or we'll just go in a rotation. Basically, everybody's going to get an even amount of picks. That is who you get to root for and cheer for. A little bit of extra rooting interest. And if your guy wins, you get some bragging rights. And we'll shout, if one of you guys ends up winning the pool, we'll shout you out on the next episode of the podcast. Already, we've got Bubba Bobby, Big Stupid, and I believe Laser Scope all joined up. Yep, we've got Laser Scope, Bubba Bobby, and Big Stupid are all involved, so it's going to be the 3 of them, plus myself and DMurph right now. If anybody else gets involved, they will, but right now that's 5 people, which is enough for 6 picks each in the pool.
I say let's get started with these predictions.
Yes, we will. But don't you want to acknowledge your advocate real quick? Your advocate is in the chat.
Yes, hello, Big Stupid, who has joined us.
Yes. All right, so predictions. The first match for NXT TakeOver Phoenix is Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno in part 3 of their rivalry. Who you got?
Matt Riddle.
Yeah, that's easy. It's Matt Riddle.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Next.
It hopefully will be better than their last TakeOver match, and by better I mean more than a move. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's no like disservice or insult to Matt Riddle either. Like, or not Matt Riddle, to Cassius Ohno, aka Chris Hero. He's a very good wrestler, good superstar. He's been doing a great job of helping to get Riddle over and establish him as a character in NXT. It's just, it seems like they have really big things planned for Matt Riddle, so I don't see him losing the rubber match of this rivalry. So
moving on.
After that, we have the NXT Tag Team title match of Undisputed Era versus the War Raiders.
I think it's going to be the War Raiders.
Oh, interesting. Do you have a reasoning why?
They've been building up the War Raiders for a while, and they've been doing a feud with Undisputed Era for a while. So I could see War Raiders finally going through, seeing as how they've been such a dominant team, and beating Undisputed Era and capturing the NXT Tag Team titles.
Okay.
Especially since, I mean, if you want to do special stuff with Undisputed Era, you could then have them go on and become the first 3-time tag team champions.
You could. See, this is the thing. Like, I probably should have made up my mind beforehand, but I am very torn on what's going to happen on this show. Like, I really don't know. And how one championship exchange goes could affect the rest. Because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do for most of this. I got to pick a side. You make a good point about War Raiders. I could definitely see them going over, but I don't see Undisputed Era, unless they want to make Undisputed Era the first ever 3-time tag team champions, which they could. I can't see Undisputed Era losing right now for some reason. I feel like they've been on a roll for 6 months. I think if they're going to lose the championships, it might come at WrestleMania, at the WrestleMania TakeOver. I think they're definitely going to be involved in a rematch or anything, but there's also no longer any contractually obligated rematch clause, in WWE contracts and kayfabe.
That's with Raw and SmackDown.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure it's for WWE across the board.
Well, they were saying specifically Raw and SmackDown when they said that on TV, but anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be.
That
It
doesn't
should
mean that
apply
they
to the whole
can't.
thing.
It should, but it doesn't necessarily all the time.
I think because you don't have Adam Cole or Bobby Fish involved in any other match. I think the numbers game of the Undisputed Era and some trickery and tomfoolery is going to lead to a dirty, unclean finish in favor of Undisputed Era, and I think Undisputed Era is going to retain.
Okay. I'm just going to point out that the last time something like that happened, War Raiders destroyed all 4 members of Undisputed Era.
Well, then that means the opposite would happen.
Okay. Well, let's keep moving on.
I think Undisputed Era is going to win this one, and I think I think War Raiders will have a reason to challenge again and eventually win at the next TakeOver.
Okay.
Next up, NXT North American Championship match. The champion Ricochet defending against Johnny Gargano.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you picking?
I'm going with Johnny Gargano.
Yeah?
I think it's about time that he holds championship gold in NXT. I think the North American Championship will look real good around his waist. It seems like a title that would fit him pretty well. And I feel like Ricochet, he's held it for a good amount of time now. He's defeated a lot of big name people for it. And he could either continue on to other things in NXT, or what I know their eventual plan is to move him up to 205 Live from here.
Meh.
I don't know if that's going to happen right away, but I could see something like that happening. But I just think Johnny Gargano is going to win the NXT North American Championship.
Yeah. See, I'm actually going to say that Ricochet is going to win because I think the one and only has been doing a great job at the North American Championship.
He has.
And I don't subscribe to the idea of heel DIY with both the championships.
Okay.
I think it would be interesting, and I think it could definitely happen. But I'm also, A, trying to be a contrarian to you, and B, I've got other thoughts on what's going to happen going forward. I could see Gargano and Ciampa eventually maybe both losing their championship matches after tonight, and they have some sort of maybe a loser leaves NXT match at WrestleMania where no championships are involved or something like that.
Between the two of them?
Yeah.
I highly doubt that, especially since they've done that already.
They haven't done a loser leaves NXT match.
Okay, but they've done a if Johnny loses, he's done match.
Yeah, and he won.
Then they did
He won, but
that was
loses
if Johnny wins, he gets to come back match.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you had a heel DIY, maybe you would make them go for the tag team titles or something like that again. I don't know. I'm trying to be a contrarian, and
Yeah.
I have thoughts and an idea for a WrestleMania TakeOver, and this is probably gonna bite me in the ass and eventually probably cause me to lose the predictions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna have to make up a lot of ground in the Royal Rumble, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Ricochet retaining.
Okay.
I'm probably dead wrong. Next up, women's championship match for NXT. Shayna Baszler, the champion, defending against Bianca Belair.
I'm going to go with Shayna Baszler just because Shayna Baszler is Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
She's really good, and I'm not a huge fan of Bianca Belair, but I also don't see Bianca Belair, someone who has been a heel literally her entire time in WWE or NXT or whatever you want to say, ever since she was in the Mae Young Classic and everything. She's been a heel, and she's challenging a heel champion.
Yeah, I think Shayna Baszler is winning this,
especially since she also has 2 people that could help her on the outside.
Yeah. And I kind of want to change my predictions, but then we'll have pretty much the same predictions for NXT TakeOver. But let's move on to the main event for the NXT Championship: Tommaso Ciampa versus Aleister Black.
I think Tommaso Ciampa is holding on to Goldie.
See, I want to say that Ciampa is going to win, and it's going to be because Gargano is going to show up and cost Black the title, and then they'll embrace, and we'll have heel DIY. Johnny Gargano is going to completely embrace Ciampa's philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
If you had picked Black, that would have been what I'm going with. However, in order to be contrarian, to make things interesting, to entertain the people listening and watching, I am going to go with Aleister Black getting his championship back. And I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but it did. Okay. My reasoning here is, which is also why I have Undisputed Era winning, is I think Undisputed Era goes for the holding all championships at once thing. Or maybe Bobby Fish after this gets involved in a multi-man match for the North American Championship. at WrestleMania. The Undisputed Era has the championships going into WrestleMania. And then I believe Adam Cole will win his match, will win the Worlds Collide tournament, and will thus immediately insert himself into the NXT Championship match. And I think maybe DIY will implode, like heel DIY. They're so obsessed with one another, they implode on each other, and they have a like loser leaves NXT match or something like that to keep them occupied. So that way, Adam Cole can renew his rivalry with Aleister Black that he had for a brief amount of time before the NXT North American Championship was introduced, and they can have a full-blown NXT Championship match.
One thing I'm going to point out quickly, they actually aren't doing heel DIY yet, right? Like that they're both heels and that Johnny is still refusing to acknowledge anything with Tommaso.
Well, that's the thing. Tommaso's trying to lure Johnny aside. What I think is that Johnny decides in the heat of the moment once he wins the NXT North American Championship, maybe he does something dirty, like just to try and see if maybe Tommaso was right. And then it clicks in his head after he wins that Tommaso was right. And then Tommaso appears out of nowhere and costs Black the championship and helps.
You mean Gargano appears out of nowhere? And
Gargano appears out of nowhere and helps Ciampa retain.
Okay.
And they embrace afterwards, but Tommaso doesn't like it. Well, not like it was a planned kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like where they were duping people all along. Where like Johnny does the thing, Ciampa's kind of surprised, pins, wins, and then like Johnny's like, you were right, and they embrace, and you've got heel DIY forming there. Not that it was like a premeditated plan type of thing.
Okay. Well, I do just want to point out that you just helped support my prediction.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. Okay. That's what I said. Like what I've been saying this whole time. Like I feel like heel DIY, this could be very much a thing that could happen. And if you weren't picking first, if I was the champion, these would be my predictions. Well, but because of the nature of our predictions game, I want to try and change things up, offer a different theory, and give myself a chance to have as many different predictions from you as possible.
I was just saying that because the whole theory you were going with before, with heel DIY imploding, if they're not together, how can they implode?
What I mean is DIY, they're both heels.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
So,
yeah.
Or, like you said, it could just be the fact that Johnny keeps ignoring him, and then they just go at each other again after neither one of them owns a championship.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see either Aleister Black winning, and does Worlds Collide's tournament end today, or does it end tomorrow?
It ends tomorrow.
Crap.
Like I said before, I know they're doing, I don't remember if it's over 3 days or 2 days, but I know they're doing a battle royal to determine by eliminations in the battle royal who gets what spot, and I know the winner of the battle royal gets a bye in the first round of the tournament, and then the finals are going to be on the day of Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
at the very least.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking I'm dead wrong on these on my secondary predictions. I think I'm completely right about what's going to happen primarily.
So you want to do predictions on the Worlds Collide tournament?
Well, that's not airing until February 8th, so let's wait until it actually airs. Don't wait until it airs to do predictions and try to just stay away from spoilers.
Well, I mean, if you want, you can, but I'm saying
if you want
that February 8th is going to be...
my prediction for the tournament winner, if you want to do a prediction for the tournament, my prediction is Adam Cole.
Okay. Because the thing I was trying to point out is also it's happening tomorrow, so
if you want that to be a bonus prediction,
it's going to be out.
Bonus prediction. It could be a bonus prediction or maybe even a tiebreaker if you want.
I'm not entirely sure, but if I have to pick someone on it, I think I might go with Travis Banks.
Okay. Any reasoning why?
Because ever since he was in the second UK title tournament, I feel like he has been on his way to, if not getting the NXT UK championship, on his way to championship gold and being a big spotlight in WWE in general. And I would not complain at all about seeing Travis Banks winning that tournament and then challenging Pete Dunne for the NXT UK or the WWE UK championship.
Yeah. I mean, I just my only thought about that is just like, how does that work? Because Banks and Dunne are both faces right now, unless you wanted to heel turn Pete Dunne. And I think he's so over, it's hard to heel turn him.
Well, two things I'll point out is, one, he's getting this title opportunity by winning a championship. The storyline there doesn't necessarily require a heel or face. It's this guy endured the odds, and now he's going to get a championship
I know,
match.
but I like my heel versus face matches when they fit in like that.
And the other thing I'll point out is it says he'll get a championship match. It doesn't say when. And the other thing I was going to point out is this could lead to Travis Banks versus Walter.
No, you do Pete Dunne versus Walter. You don't do Travis Banks versus Walter.
Pete Dunne currently holds the title. This would happen after Pete Dunne versus Walter, is what I'm saying.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's just an idea. But
All
yeah,
right.
if I had to pick anyone on that is, I think part of the reason I would pick him is because of the fact that he's probably the person that I'm looking towards the most in that match.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, that tournament.
All right. So, we are now up to the Royal Rumble 2019. First match in the predictions, Rusev versus Nakamura, United States Championship. Who we got?
Rusev Day.
Why do you have Rusev Day?
Because I don't think he's going to lose the title right away after getting it.
I think the same thing. I don't know what they're going to do with Nakamura now that he doesn't have the U.S. title on him, and he's clearly not going to be involved in the WWE Championship because he'll Daniel Bryan as the title and probably won't lose the title to AJ.
Well, I know what he could do up until the next pay-per-view.
What's that?
Petition to be in a match for the Elimination Chamber for Elimination Chamber.
That's true. But yeah, I think I'm going with Rusev too. I don't think Rusev is gonna lose this title match. I think it would be foolish to pick against him.
Yeah.
Here. Next up, Cruiserweight Championship match. Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa versus Kalisto versus Hideo Itami.
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think the Juggernaut's going to retain.
See, I don't know too much because I haven't been able to see what the momentum is going to be. My instinct says Buddy Murphy, but my other thought is, what if they decide to shock everybody and give it to Itami, who hasn't had the Cruiserweight Championship yet?
And that's one thing that some people have been thinking. I know Daniel Bryan recently, like, he did a shoot video thing where he was talking about how the person that has kicked him the hardest in his career was Hideo Itami, and I think it was Arya Daivari, because he's randomly teamed up with Hideo now.
Mm-hmm.
Use that as like here's why Hideo will win the title, because of the fact that Daniel Bryan says he kicks very hard.
Yeah.
So,
I actually think I'm going to go with Itami.
Yeah.
Because
he did, I'll say this though, he did win momentum going into this, because there was,
which normally means that person loses.
Yeah. Because there was a triple threat match, I believe, between him, Kalisto, and Tozawa on 205 Live, and he won.
Okay. Well, I don't think Kalisto or Tozawa, I don't feel like
I feel
can
like
win
if any
over
of them is
Buddy
going
Murphy.
to win that's not Buddy Murphy, it would probably be Hideo.
Yeah, because Hideo has yet to win the NXT Cruiserweight Championship yet, and he really hasn't done much since coming to 205 Live, and he's too good of a talent to just be sitting there and not being involved in major rivalries on 205 Live. So I feel like if he wins this championship, this sets him on this will finally give him that push that he needs to like get more exposure, maybe help revitalize his career in WWE. And because it's a fatal four-way, he doesn't have to pin Buddy Murphy, and that gives Buddy Murphy a perfect excuse to demand a rematch, since rematch clauses are technically, we don't know, not a thing and whatnot. So then I think we can get Buddy Murphy versus Hideo Itami at WrestleMania, which would be awesome. Pretty awesome.
But I will point out that once again, it goes against your natural thinking of it would be heel versus heel.
Unless they decide to turn Itami face or turn Buddy Murphy face.
True.
I think Buddy Murphy is such a good enough worker that he could easily be turned face,
I mean,
relatively quickly.
The only thing that I see an issue with it is that he's a heel, Itami's a heel, Itami's teamed up with Arya Daivari, who's a heel, and Buddy Murphy is teamed up with Tony Nese, who's a heel. But whatever.
Why I gotta use logic to make me feel bad about my picks?
I'm just trying to inform you for your decisions.
Yeah, whatever. I'll just stick with Itami, and I'll just suffer the fact that I'm gonna get completely destroyed in these predictions.
And like I said, if anyone is gonna win that match other than Buddy Murphy, I think it would be Hideo. So
yeah. All right. Then up next, we've got the tag title match of The Bar versus The Miz and Shane.
As much as I hate to say it, I think it's gonna be Miz and Shane.
Why is that?
Because there's got to be something with this.
See, my something with this is that Shane turns on The Miz.
It's It's possible.
I think maybe Shane turns on Miz in this match and they lose the championship, so you don't put the titles on the two of them. But you could also do it to where they win the titles and they have the reign for the 1 month and then lose and then go into WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it's because it's like, then what do you do from here to Elimination Chamber if they don't win the titles? So it's like, can you make that heel versus face dynamic work for a while? Unless maybe if you want to go with Miz and Shane, like maybe Miz and Shane put themselves both in the SmackDown Elimination Chamber.
Maybe.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Bar because you've already picked them, and I am kind of undecided. I'm on the fence, and I know that there's gonna be a Shane McMahon heel turn coming. I just don't know if it's gonna be now or at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So
we'll have to wait and see.
I think there's gonna be a betrayal, and the Bar is going to retain, but they could very well put that off for a month.
True.
Next up, Asuka versus Becky Lynch.
As much as I hate to say this, I think it's going to be Asuka. As much as I would love to see the man with the title around her waist, I think it's going to be Asuka that wins because I think that they're going through with the plan of main event of WrestleMania triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah. I don't see why you're saying you hate to say it.
Because I want to see Becky Lynch win.
Becky Lynch is going to win in the end, though. She's going to win the title of WrestleMania.
I know, but I'm saying I'd like to see her win this match.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Asuka, and I think it's going to be some sort of tomfoolery. I think Ronda Rousey's going to come out and do something really dickish and heelish
Probably.
to cost Becky Lynch the championship once again. Next up, speaking of Ronda, she's facing off against Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. So you're going with Sasha?
Going with Ronda.
Yeah. You got to go with Ronda. I think Ronda's holding the championship into WrestleMania. I think Sasha's going to have a good match and she's going to get the rub, but
I think she's going to be a first time, well, maybe not, but she's going to wrestle for the opportunity to become a first time women's tag team champion.
Yes, I think her and Bayley are going to win those women's tag team titles at
yeah. I don't know if they'll actually win it, but I know they'll at least be in the match because I don't know if they'll win it. I don't know if the Iconics will win it. I don't know who's going to win that. We have to wait until that gets closer and find out who all the actual teams in the match are.
Yeah. And there's more about Ronda Rousey. I think we'll fire through these predictions really quick and then we'll get to that story.
Yeah.
We're up to the Rumble matches now. 30 entrants. Yeah. We're going to this is just the way that WWE has a card written on WWE.com.
All right.
So I'm sure the order will be all mixed up and whatnot, but Women's Rumble. 30 of them in there. Who are you going with?
You see, here's the thing. I'm going to say who I think is going to win this, and then I'm going to say who I want to win this. And the person I think is going to win this is Charlotte.
Okay.
Because she is one of the people that they're saying that is going to be focused on in the main event of WrestleMania, and she has actually officially been announced for it. The person that I want to see win in this badass way that I've heard people theorize about is Becky Lynch. And are you sticking with Charlotte or are you sticking with Becky Lynch? I'm sticking with Charlotte.
Okay.
Because it's a matter of she's officially confirmed for the match, and I have another theory as to how Becky will get into it, which is also awesome. But the other theory I heard, which I think would be fucking awesome, sorry about that, would be
well, hold on. Let me give my pick because I'm going to go with Becky Lynch and I'm subscribing to this. If it's the same thing, I'm pretty sure that I agree with it. Where because Becky Lynch is going to get screwed over by Ronda Rousey in the title match, she's going to be livid and pissed off. And in a Stone Cold-esque type of thing, either one of the surprises or one of the female wrestlers on the lower rung or maybe an NXT superstar will be making her entrance, and Becky Lynch will just come out and destroy whoever it is, either in the back or on the ramp. Either on the ramp during the match or backstage, she'll run into somebody and being like, "Oh, what number did you get? Oh, that's a good one." Bam! Just destroy somebody backstage, take their number, and be like, "This is mine now. I'm in the match." She basically takes somebody out, takes their place, goes in the Royal Rumble, wreaks havoc, and wins and goes on to WrestleMania.
Do you want to hear the theory as to who I think she's going to attack and when?
Who?
Carmella when she comes out.
Yeah, why Carmella?
Because Carmella winning the mixed match challenge is the number 30 spot. So people are thinking that something's going to happen. Carmella's going to come out for a number 30 spot, and Becky's going to come out, just destroy Carmella, take her spot, and win the Royal Rumble match. And then you have a match set up for Becky at Elimination Chamber versus Carmella.
Yeah, it could be.
But here's my other theory that I'm hoping happens.
Well,
it's very quick.
Well, before that, I just want to mention the one flaw in this theory that I'm picking is that how do you fit Charlotte into that triple threat match afterwards?
Oh, you could have her weasel her way into it the way that she weaseled in to the match with Becky and Carmella and then stole the title out from under Becky.
Well, the problem with that is that she got... I mean, I'm sure there's a way you could write around it, but the problem with her, with that is that, you know, she wouldn't have a reason... She wouldn't have the right to switch from SmackDown over to Raw. Whereas Becky, if she gets screwed over twice by Ronda out of the championship, then she has every right to want to switch brands.
Yeah. I mean, Charlotte did get screwed over the first time too, but that is part of the theory that I'm going with, which is that Charlotte goes in and wins. Either Becky gets eliminated by Charlotte, or more likely in this case, isn't in the match at all. And Becky pulls on Charlotte, which Charlotte pulls on Becky, which is, you know, I got screwed out of my title twice by Ronda. It's time I go over and slap Ronnie around, and you're not going to be in my way. And WWE management comes out and be like, you know what? You make a fair point. Tonight, it's going to be Charlotte versus Becky. And if Becky beats Charlotte, she gets put into the match at WrestleMania. And Becky beats Charlotte and then goes on and wins the match at WrestleMania. Just like how Charlotte did that exact same thing to get the title
That's
from
interesting
Carmella.
because that's karma. As everything coming full circle. I like that.
Yeah.
And then Big Stupid also says the way you can write Charlotte is just have her interfere in the Raw Women's title and make Rousey demand to face her. The only problem I would have with that is that both women's championship matches, if we go with this route, would have ended via interference because there's no way Becky Lynch loses clean to Asuka in that SmackDown Women's titles match. So somebody has to get involved, and I'm just pegging Ronda because Ronda has a chip on her shoulder still from when Becky beat the hell out of her backstage.
Yeah, and still taunts her on social media and everything.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's either going to be Charlotte, like you said, or Becky Lynch.
That's what
Since you went with
thinking.
Charlotte, I'm going with Becky.
No, don't blame me for that.
Men's Rumble. Who you got? I think we both have the same person here.
I'm going with Seth Rollins.
Yeah. I think it has to be Seth Rollins because I think it's too good of a story what they're telling right now. They've been building up Rollins so much over the last few weeks, last couple months. He's been on a tear. He had an amazing 2018.
He had an amazing Intercontinental title run too.
Yeah. And he has that ready-made story. He's already he won the title, stole it from Lesnar at WrestleMania 31, and now he gets to go one-on-one to prove he can actually beat him one-on-one. And Brock gets a chance to try and destroy Rollins one-on-one and all after all this time. Because I think the only other time they met in the ring was in the triple threat match at Royal Rumble the next year with John Cena.
The one thing I will point out, though, is that one other story, which still has Seth Rollins winning the Royal Rumble, that I would love to see, but I'm not sure I see happening.
What?
What if Balor shocks everyone and beats Brock?
I would also be okay with that.
I would too, but because then you also get, so the Royal Rumble or the WrestleMania Universal title match is a rematch from the first ever match for the Universal title.
Well, actually, I'll wait until we get to the Universal title match because it's only 2 matches away. But I have an interesting theory that just popped into my head that could explain how Balor could end up winning that match. But anyway, let's. We're both on an agreement. Rollins will win.
Yes.
The Rumble. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles WWE Championship match.
Sorry, I got distracted by Big Stupid on the screen, which is they faced each other when Taker came back and cost Lesnar the belt.
Okay.
All right. So you said which match?
WWE title match. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles.
I think it's going to be D-Bry.
Yeah, I got to agree with you here. I can't deviate from you as much on the main roster stuff as I did on on TakeOver, which might come back to bite me in the ass. But yeah, I agree. I think D-Bry, his heel character has been so goddamn good that you keep that championship on him into WrestleMania, and then hopefully you get Miz somehow involved to do Miz versus Bryan. But if it's not Miz, and they do this thing where, because it seems like they're almost building towards a Miz versus Shane match at WrestleMania at this point, then who do you pit D-Bry up against?
I mean, there are some different options you could go with.
Mustafa Ali.
Maybe Mustafa Ali, which I would not complain about at all. You could do someone like Samoa Joe.
Well, the problem with that is that Joe is a vile, evil heel, and he's maintained that character. So you'd have to change that real quick.
True. I'm just saying that he's a contender that I could see putting it. I could also see, as much as I would not want to see it, John Cena versus D-Bry.
I could get behind that. It'd be interesting. And you know that Daniel Bryan would win.
Yep. You could also do something, which is something that I've heard some people say, not many, but some, a surprise return during the Royal Rumble and leading to face him, Bray Wyatt, finally coming back from injury.
Okay.
Could do a number of things like that. You could even try and throw it in a way where you have Shinsuke come back for it.
Mm-hmm.
You got a bunch of people that could face him.
Shinsuke would have to turn face, though.
Yeah.
Again. Because you do not turn Daniel Bryan face with the character that he's got rolling right now.
True.
You can't. He's so good. Unless he naturally becomes a face and everybody's like, hey, what he's saying about the environment is right.
Yeah.
All right, so we both have D-Bry retaining the title over AJ. What do you think AJ does after this on the road to WrestleMania?
A word has it that it's going to be AJ and Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Which I'm not going to complain about.
Yeah, that should be an entertaining match.
Although there is one thing I just realized that I'm going to complain about.
What's that?
Where's the Raw Tag titles?
I don't know what you're talking about. Those don't exist.
Basically. They're left out of like every pay-per-view now.
All right. Let's get to the final prediction. Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor for the Universal Championship.
I'm going to say Brock Lesnar, although I would prefer, personally, I want Finn Balor to win. I'm going to pick Lesnar, but you want to hear my theory that I was mentioning earlier about how Balor could win? Braun Strowman?
Not Braun Strowman. You know who's rumored to show up at the Royal Rumble?
Undertaker.
But a lot of people are thinking he'll be in the Royal Rumble, but he won't be.
Undertaker.
The Rock.
Okay.
The Rock shows up out of nowhere, attacks Brock Lesnar, or maybe he's in the front row of something like that. And then Lesnar messes with him, so he gets in there. And then Rock costs Brock his title. Balor wins. We get Balor versus Rollins for the title, which would be interesting. And then
Brock.
We get Brock Rock, the rematch from SummerSlam 2002 that they've been trying to make happen at WrestleMania for years and years. Do I think this is a viable theory? No, I think this is me just headcanoning and fantasy booking, but I think it would make things interesting. It'd be an interesting swerve to have Balor actually win the Universal title.
But you see, I could see them doing something similar where it's Braun doesn't necessarily get involved in the match, but comes out and distracts Brock and a good amount and causes him to lose. And then you could do the match that someone seems to be very eager to see of, once again, Braun versus Brock at WrestleMania, just not with the title on the line. And you could do Balor versus Rollins. But I'm going to say this. There's only one thing I want to see out of this match. Well, actually, two things, and because one has two and the second one involved. So, and that is, I want to see Demon Balor.
That's not going to happen. Unless the only way Demon Balor, if you see Demon, this is the what I call the Finn Balor cheat sheet. If Finn Balor comes out as regular Finn Balor, there's a very damn good chance he's not winning that match unless there's some kind of funny business because he's taking on the final boss of wrestling that is Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
If he comes out as Demon Balor, oh Lord, Finn Balor is winning that Universal Championship.
Because, you see, these are the two things I want. I want Demon Balor, and then I want this to be the start of the match. The match starts. Demon Balor standing there. Brock rushes him, gives him a German suplex, and just kind of stands there doing his goofy grin.
And Balor
no-sells it.
Yeah.
He just hits it and just immediately stands up and just stands there waiting and stares. And
what do you...
Lesnar just turns and is just What?
What do you think? Because I've been hearing that Balor may face Undertaker at WrestleMania. I've been hearing rumors about that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think if he comes out as Demon Balor, but then Undertaker comes out and costs him? Because if there's any way you can have the Demon lose and not like lose credibility, is if the other biggest supernatural superstar to ever exist comes out and costs him the championship.
I mean, I could see that, and I would like it with the exception of the fact that in, I'll say, modern times, Brock Lesnar has been the number one hated person by The Undertaker. So
That's true.
It wouldn't make sense that way.
Unless you use that as a means of a swerve. Maybe Undertaker comes out and stares down Brock and then just turns around and goes after Balor. And maybe his thing is like, Taker's getting older and it's like the old alpha trying to challenge the young alpha because he thinks that Finn with this whole demon thing is trying to, take over like his whole thing, his whole deal, and that like he's the one with the real supernatural powers or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it could be a whole like old guy is jealous of young guy who is going to basically be his spiritual successor. And it can be almost like a passing of the torch, but hopefully it would go better than the passing of the torch match that Undertaker had with Roman Reigns.
Yeah. I mean, that could happen, but I see if he does do Demon Balor and he loses, I could see it more of just a very long and drawn out match. Possibly longer, if not the same like kind of length and similar style kind of match of Brock Lesnar with Daniel Bryan. How no one expected Daniel Bryan to last that long again and that much offense.
But the Demon has never lost in WWE.
And even though The Undertaker until he faced Brock Lesnar.
Well, the thing is that Undertaker was getting older and they wanted to make an impact with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's on his way out. But you don't punish somebody like Finn Balor. You don't have him losing his demon form, which is supposed to be his ultimate form, against somebody who's on their way out when Balor hopefully has at least another 10 years in WWE.
But this is also, once again, a matter of we don't even know if that's going to be the case.
Yeah. It all depends on what his entrance is. If he's got the demon, things are going to be interesting. If he doesn't have the demon, unless there's some sort of ridiculous tomfoolery from Braun Strowman or The Rock or The Undertaker or somebody, he's losing that match.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway, that's it for our predictions. We have got, just a recap for NXT TakeOver Chicago or TakeOver Phoenix. We both have Matt Riddle over Cassius Ohno. You have Undisputed Era, or I have Undisputed Era. You have War Raiders in the NXT Tag Title match. I have Ricochet. You have Johnny Gargano in the North American Championship match. And we both have Shayna Baszler over Bianca Belair. And then I have Tommaso Ciampa retaining, or you have Tommaso Ciampa retaining. I have Aleister Black winning the NXT Championship in that match. Royal Rumble 2019, we both have Rusev retaining over Nakamura for the U.S. title. You have Buddy Murphy retaining the Cruiserweight Championship. I have Hideo Itami winning. I have the Bar retaining the SmackDown Tag Team titles. You have Miz and Shane winning them. We both have Asuka defeating Becky Lynch. We both have Ronda Rousey defeating Sasha Banks. You have Charlotte Flair winning the Women's Royal Rumble. I have Becky Lynch winning the Women's Royal Rumble. We both have Seth Rollins winning the Men's Royal Rumble. We both have Daniel Bryan retaining against AJ Styles. And we both have Brock Lesnar retaining against Finn Balor.
Yep.
So, Big Stupid in the chat says, I'll throw a wild card out there. Something funny happens to R-Truth and Reigns comes out as number 30. I don't think so.
No.
He's still recovering from leukemia, and I know that there was the image of him being in Fast and Furious, but, doing a small role for maybe a couple scenes in a movie is a lot easier on somebody, especially if they were shooting out like somewhere near where he is, like where he's living and getting treatment. That's a lot easier than the grueling wrestling schedule. And if they're going to bring him back, they're not just going to bring him back for the Royal Rumble and have him disappear again.
Yeah. And apparently he recently talked to Braun Strowman and was telling him that he's, doing vacation and family stuff as well as treatment. So
yeah. So I don't think we're gonna see Reigns for a while. KB8200, what is up in the chat? Saying hi. All right, so that is it for the predictions. Oh, by the way, also our bonus prediction for the Worlds Collide tournament. Do you want this to count or do you want this to be a tiebreaker?
We could I guess, use as a tiebreaker.
All right, so if there is a tie, we have a tiebreaker bonus prediction for the Worlds Collide tournament.
Which neither of us could be right about at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if we're both wrong, then it deserves to stay a tie.
Yeah.
It's almost like overtime. If nobody scores in overtime, it should end in a tie.
Yep.
You have Travis Banks, and I have Adam Cole winning the tournament. You can both be wrong. All right, so wrestling news. First bit of wrestling news we've got involves Ronda Rousey. And that is that Ronda Rousey may be leaving the WWE after WrestleMania 35. And she responded to the rumors with quite an interesting quote, which I will read. The article from Mike Cherry of Bleacher Report says, according to ESPN's Ramona Shelburne, Ronda Rousey took exception with those who were speculating on her desire to have children. For those who don't know, I'm going to deviate from this expert real quick. The reasoning why people feel like she's going to be leaving after WrestleMania 35 is, as you remember from that video that we talked about a few months ago, the WWE, it's a grind. It is an grueling grind on the superstars. Honestly, if you ask my opinion, I think the superstars are overworked with their travel schedule. I think they should maybe take 1 or 2 dates out and maybe try to space them out or something like that, or maybe give them another extra day of rest, which I think they have since then. But even still, like, or maybe even make the appearing cities closer together, something like that. I don't know, but like I feel like that schedule is just, it is insane. You don't know what it's like unless you've been through it, and I haven't even been through it I've never been through it to the extent of what the superstars have been through. I did the TV production loops, which would include a pay-per-view, a Raw, and a SmackDown. I didn't have to do the house shows those weeks, and sometimes I did the house shows but didn't go into the TV loops. But so it's like, it is rough, and I don't blame Ronda Rousey for wanting to step away to start a family. She wants to start a family at this age. She doesn't want to wait too much longer, and because of how much time she's taken away, she can't start a family, and it affects her ability to be with her family. So there is big rumors that after WrestleMania 35, she is going to step away to start a family, and we don't know whether or not she'll ever return. Which, I don't blame her. She can do her. I think it's perfectly fine for her only be in the company for 1 year. She came in, she kicked ass, she left. I think that's fine. She was here every single week for the 1 year she was.
And the one thing I will point out is she is contracted through 2021, so she could even do something like take a year or 2 off and still come back under contract.
Is she still contracted until 2021?
Yeah, and it even says right there in your report, she's under contract till April 10th, 2021.
Let's get through the rest of it then. I'll read the rest of the blurb. But I just wanted to put context into this quote from Ronda Rousey in the article that says, and then I'll continue the article after the excerpt after this. I honestly don't know why anyone feels they're an authority to speak on plans for my uterus. It's my vagina, my life. Keep this speculation to yourself. Leave me and my reproductive organs alone. On Thursday, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter via Daniel Yafonski of WrestlingInc.com reported that there is a, quote, very good chance Rousey will depart WWE after WrestleMania. In response to Meltzer's report, TMZ Sports reported Thursday that Rousey is not leaving WWE after WrestleMania 35, but she could be taking a break. Per TMZ, Rousey is super happy in WWE and not ready to leave the company yet. A WWE spokesman also told TMZ that Rousey is under contract until April 10th, 2011.
2021.
2021. Yeah, that's my bad.
She's under contract until 8 years ago.
Yeah, right. Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet reported that Rousey may take a quote-unquote planned break to start a family, but it doesn't mean she won't return to wrestling for WWE in the future.
Exactly. So, yeah.
So, anything else to add to that? Any other thoughts? Like, again, I think that the WWE schedule is brutal, and I don't think anybody should have to go through it, let alone the superstars or whatever. And I completely understand. I personally, just having a taste of it, completely understand where she's coming from, and I have like no problems with her decision. With her decision, if she decides that she wants to do that, I think it's fine. All
I have to say is Becky wins at WrestleMania. Let's move on.
Big Stupid just wants to put in, if she wants to, that's fine, but Fox paying all that money for rights leads me to think they want her for SmackDown in September. It actually starts in October, and I don't think so.
And it's also a matter of she could take a break to go, get pregnant and give birth and all that, and then still do some personality stuff after a while.
After a while, you mean like a month or two after she gives birth, maybe?
Yeah, and they could, on the debut episode of SmackDown on Fox, hey, she's going to be coming at this point, and she'll be the new general manager or something.
No, because if she leaves at WrestleMania, that's in April.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to, and then if her and her husband don't have any problems getting pregnant and get pregnant right away, that's 9 months from April. Okay. 9 plus 4 is 13.
Okay.
So that's until January. That's this time this year. That's
Okay.
4 or 5 months past the premiere of SmackDown. And then you have to add the few months of recovery.
Okay.
So she won't, if anything, she won't be back at the earliest, if she wants to come back, that's as early as possible, until around WrestleMania next year.
Okay. I'm just saying they could make an announcement of her doing something, not necessarily.
WWE won't do that when they don't know what she's going to do for another 6 to 8 months. They're not going to announce that in October. They're not going to announce something in October for something that may happen in April or May of the next year.
Let's move on.
Okay. Next article. Dave Meltzer reports WWE looking to revive tag division to combat AEW. Revival told of the division, and the company plans to exercise contract options on the Hardy Boys.
You did not do the whole thing there.
Did I? Not?
You got to scroll over.
Oh. Whoops. We're told that they'd be the face of the division, and the company plans to exercise the contract option on the Hardy Boys. I'm sorry. I'm going to actually shift this. I'm trying to read it, but I've got the camera in the way, so it's a little difficult. So maybe if I lean in like this. All right. So the article expert on the revival from Mark Middleton of Wrestling Inc. says WWE tag teams have been told they would be receiving a big push soon, apparently to counter All Elite Wrestling, who will be putting a major focus on tag teams.
No way.
The Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder were even told they would be the face of the division. As noted, Dawson and Wilder's WWE contracts do not expire until April 2020, which is another year from now. They recently asked for their releases because they're serious about doing the best work they can do, and the feeling was that won't happen in WWE because the company isn't focused on tag teams.
Unfortunately, that seems to be true, seeing as how the Raw tag team titles aren't even on the Royal Rumble card.
Well, I think it all depends. We have to see. I mean, they've just started to try and change things around, so I think we need to wait and see what's going to happen over the next year. Regardless, the Revival,
at the particular moment.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the Revival are under contract for another year. They can't leave until
then.
They can't leave until then unless they want to be treated like Neville and just not appear on TV for over a year. So I think we gotta wait until after WrestleMania to see if they're gonna make true on these promises of making the tag division better. But we'll see. The other excerpt from the article on the Hardy Boys says, on a related note, the contracts of Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy will expire in WrestleMania 35 season. But the feeling is that they are staying for at least one more year. The brothers signed a 2-year deal in 2017 with a 3rd-year option. It is believed WWE will pick up that option now. The option does include a significant pay raise for the 3rd year. So one more year of Hardys.
Woo!
I think that's a cool thing.
I do too. Mm-hmm. Hardys are good.
Yeah. Next story is a big one involving New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yep.
For those of you who may or may not know, New Japan released their cards for their
U.S. tour,
New Beginning tour in the U.S., and there were no Japanese wrestlers for the Japanese promotion.
0.
I think there was one who has like an international visa already.
0.
I'm pretty sure. I saw a video
over
from
the
What
entire
Culture
card, and there was.
When did you look it over?
When they announced it.
Which was
the day they announced it.
They may have changed it since then.
Okay, they may have changed it since then, but when they initially announced it, there were none.
I saw a video like 2 or 3 days ago that said that apparently there's one Japanese superstar that's signed. I can't remember who it was.
Well, I know there's one international superstar who already has his license, and that's Marty Scurll.
Yeah, they weren't talking about Marty Scurll. Anyway, they showed that it was guys like Trent Beretta, Juice Robinson, I think David Finlay,
Marty Scurll, Chucky T.
Basically got all these guys who aren't native Japan and already would need things like visas and travel stuff in order to just operate in New Japan. So some people speculated it might have been trouble getting the visas because of the government shutdown, and well, they were right. So New Japan said in a statement, on their website saying, "It is with great disappointment that we must announce, due to the ongoing 2018-2019 United States federal government shutdown, we were unable to obtain visas for a Japanese talent who were looking forward to seeing our U.S. fans at the new beginning in the USA. We are excited to still be able to share a great lineup with our U.S. fans. Regardless of visa issues, the IWGP U.S. champion, Juice Robinson, is defending his title against Beretta and the great O'Karn, who is flying in from England. Will be debuting in New Japan. What's more, this show will highlight the talent and potential of our young lions who have been working hard in the NJPW LA dojo. We are looking forward to being able to celebrate the abilities of the exciting new generation of young NJPW wrestlers."
Mm-hmm.
So basically, instead of it being this like big New Japan tour, it's now turning into the Young Lions tour, kind of featuring Juice Robinson, Marty Scurll, and a couple of our non-Japanese wrestlers.
Yeah. And
so, thanks, government.
One thing I'll point out that you didn't mention here is that they also announced that to a lot of people they are doing a I don't know if they're doing a refund, but they were at least cutting the ticket prices by 60% to make up for the fact that they weren't going to have any of their Japanese or main event superstars on their cards.
Yeah. How do you think this? How much do you think, if it does, hurts New Japan's expansion efforts into the U.S.? Do you think a lot of wrestling fans will be okay with it? Do you think the turnout's still going to be good? Do you think the arenas will be excited?
I think that it'll still be fine because, I mean, it's still New Japan. You're still getting bigger names. You're still having one of their champions going to shows and defending and all that. I don't think the people are necessarily going to be as excited, but you're going to tell me, especially with the tickets being discounted and it only being, 3 shows, that they're not going to be packed?
I don't know. It's a lot of young lions. You're not getting any. You're not getting some of the best in New Japan.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: how much would you pay for a ticket
to New Japan?
Yes.
That didn't have the likes of Jay White, Tetsuya Naito,
Yes.
Okada, and all that,
but still had like Juice Robinson bringing the U.S. title and had Marty Scurll and other people like that.
Pay maybe $20-$30, maybe.
Okay. I think the most expensive ticket they have right now is $100 for front row.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay $100.
Okay, but would you be looking to go front row?
I don't know. Depends on how. It depends on the. Okay. At that point, it's minutia. It depends on what the view is.
And I also don't even know if that's a discounted price.
Like, I enjoy wrestling shows, but if I'm going to spend $50 or more on a wrestling show, especially if I go into the triple digits and spend $100 or more on a wrestling show, I want to go see guys that I know who I've been watching for a while who are bigger names in the company.
Okay. I personally just feel like for it being a show in which the high, like I said, this is if it is a discounted price. I don't know if this even is a discounted price. If it's $100 for front row and you get to be front row to see like Juice Robinson and Dave Finlay and Marty Scurll and people like that, and yeah, you get to see some new guys that you don't really know. They could surprise you. I don't think it's a terrible price point, and I think there's going to be a good amount of people that still go.
Here's the thing, like, is this being broadcast on New Japan World?
I don't know.
Because if it is, I would rather just watch it for free. Well, for free. Like, I'm already paying the money for New Japan World, but I'd rather just use the $8, $9, $10 on New Japan World to watch it and still be entertaining, rather than spend more than that to go watch it in person when maybe they're not guys that I'm completely overtly crazy about. Like, the only guys that are on those cards that I see that like I'd really be like interested in watching live are Marty Scurll and Juice Robinson. Maybe Trent Beretta and Chucky T.
I would like to see the best friends. Also, Rocky Romero's going to be there.
Okay. I mean, that helps.
Yeah,
a little bit.
That's one thing I find funny is he was posting being like, so I'm not considered a Japanese superstar even though I've been wrestling with the company for over 10 years, and people are like, yeah, you're not Japanese.
Yeah, you weren't born in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
Therefore, you are not Japanese.
Yeah.
Like, when they mean Japanese, they mean like born and raised, or at least raised in Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have your Japanese citizenship, then yeah, technically you can. That's a loophole.
You are technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
Yeah. All right, but we've talked enough about this. Let's move on. Abyss and Sanjay Dutt, two mainstays of Impact, are no longer with Impact. They have joined WWE and left. It is believed that they will become main roster producers backstage. The quote from Mike Johnson on PW Insider Elite Audio basically mentions that it was believed that a lot of people end up familiar, or his sources, like originally a lot of people thought they were going to go to NXT and be backstage producers at NXT to get used to the WWE system, but apparently it might just be like a quick stint in the Performance Center and then they're already up to the main roster.
Okay.
Being producers.
I don't mind and everything because, I mean, hey, that would free up some of those people to maybe go and stay at a stationary place like they'd prefer.
Yeah.
Like maybe Florida or maybe the UK where they have a new Performance Center and could use people.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, it's nice to see like that they may never wrestle, but it's nice to see that they'll actually be able to have some influence.
Yeah, kind of like Robbie Brookside.
Yeah. Or God, why am I spacing on his name?
His name.
Yeah. He was a backstage producer for WWE for years. Jimmy Jacobs. Jimmy Jacobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, as we mentioned before with Roman Reigns, images of Roman Reigns. I think I didn't put this in here because I didn't want to like say for sure, but I think this may be like some of the first photos we've actually seen of Roman Reigns since he left, since that Monday Night Raw where he gave his farewell. But images of him emerged on Instagram, both his and The Rock's. It was initially emerged on The Rock's Instagram account, and Rock revealed that Roman will actually be playing Rock's brother in the Fast and Furious spinoff flick Hobbs and Shaw.
Yep.
Which I think is pretty cool. Rock basically said that he was grateful that he could share this experience with Reigns, that Reigns could come in and that he could involve his family, and that he admires Reigns' fight and battle with leukemia and his perseverance, his humbleness, and his just drive to get better, to beat this and return to the ring, and he hopes he returns to the ring soon, and that it was a great experience for him to do that. And Reigns basically said that like it was great, it was family healing for him because he got to spend time with his family, have fun on a movie shoot, and that he also said that he is grateful for all of the fans and that he will continue to work to get back in the ring as soon as he can.
And I'm excited for that when he kicks leukemia's butt and ends up as the number 30 entrant in next year's Royal Rumble.
Next year's Royal Rumble, I can totally see that.
Which is what I'm hoping for. I know some people might think it's a little presumptuous, but come on, Roman being number 30 in next year's Royal Rumble, getting a huge pop and winning.
He'd get a pop, and he'd get a pop for winning.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he deserves it. And then the final, like, quick hit piece of wrestling news is Darren Young is looking to ramp up his wrestling in 2019, and he wants opportunities with AEW, Ring of Honor, and New Japan.
Good luck to him.
Yeah, just a quick quote from him on the Same Team podcast. He said, 2018, I spent more time here doing speaking engagements and less wrestling. But 2019, moving forward, what I want to do more. I want to let promotions know that whether it's ROH, New Japan, All Elite, just give me an opportunity. I have a lot in the tank. What do I got to do? Do I have to start at the bottom? Because I'm not unfamiliar with that, so let me know. So Darren Young, willing to work his way up from the bottom of the card all the way up in these promotions. He just wants to wrestle,
which I'm hoping to see because he's always been a good wrestler.
Yeah, I think he's always gotten a bit of a rough shake of it in WWE.
I mean, he was never really given too good of a place to shine.
Yeah, his best opportunity was the Make Darren Young Great Again thing, and then apparently like stuff happened with Bob Backlund, I think it was backstage, to where he had to get taken off TV or whatever, and then Darren Young was just left there.
Yeah. And he had a good chance of having a chance to beat The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship, which is what I thought the move they should have made at the time was, but they decided not to go with it. But anyway.
Yeah. All right, now let's get into our quick hits section. This is where we decide to talk about, just mention news stories that we didn't get time to discuss. We didn't. There's only so much time to do this in the podcast. We're just going to read off the headlines and where we got them. Do you want to take the reins on this, since it's just reading?
Sure. Ty Dillinger scheduled to be on Royal Rumble loop. First time on the road in quite some time. Could see return from injury at Rumble or on Raw or SmackDown. Hope that's the case and that he's the number 10 entrant.
Yeah, I was going to say that news gets a 10 from me. Yep. Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Ringside News.
That came from Ringside News, yeah. Also, Aiden English is joining the 205 Live commentary team through WrestleMania season from WWE.com, which
Official
is
announcement, which is
very
cool.
good. Yes,
I guess they're trying him out on commentary, or maybe it's a way to introduce him slowly into 205 Live.
It's either way, I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we've got WWE superstars reportedly being told everyone's next contract once the new TV deals kick in will see a pay increase over the current ones via Wrestling Observer newsletter. Always a good thing to see people getting paid more.
Yeah.
And I think they may be doing that because of AEW's promise.
Hey, don't go to AEW. Stay here. Stay here. We'll give you more money.
But
we'll use that TV money.
Exactly. We use that TV money, even though they've got guaranteed wages, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which, speaking of AEW signs young indie star Jungle Boy, a.k.a. Luke Perry's son, via Nightmare Family, Cody Rhodes, and Brandy's YouTube channel.
That kind of makes me excited. That kind of makes me now want guys like that I know, like Tony Deppen and like Gio, get signed because they're signing guys like Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy was big on the West Coast indie circuit. But like he wasn't nationwide known. I think like people knew of him, but he wasn't like a popular like AEW has to sign this guy kind of thing. So that makes me excited that hopefully maybe guys that we know will maybe get signed. We can be like, hey, we know that guy. That guy deserves it.
One group I would love to see get signed, although I don't see it happening, would be the Zoltan.
Yep,
those guys are so good. And then we've also got the AEW guys showed up at Bar Wrestling, and the Young Bucks specifically showed up at Defy Wrestling. And they're kind of doing their own shtick, being like, hey, guys, we're still around. And we've got this thing going on that you might want to look into. Then we've also got Chris Sabin suffering a torn ACL and is expected to be out for 8 to 12 months via his Twitter. And Flip Gordon suffered an MCL tear, expected to be back in time for the G1 Supercard at Madison Square Garden. And that's from ROHWrestling.com.
Phew, regarding Flip Gordon, right? That could have been much worse. And that does it for the quick hits in wrestling. Now we make the transition over from wrestling to the Vidya Games. Vidya Games time. And we've got a pair of new releases this week. Some pretty big new releases. The first big new releases of 2019. First one, little game. I don't know if you heard of it from the series. It's really convoluted in its story called Kingdom Hearts 3. See, they mixed the Square Enix, the Final Fantasy. They got their they got Final Fantasy in your Disney, and they got Disney in your Final Fantasy.
Meek Mouse.
Yes, Mick Mouse.
Meek Mouse.
Meek Mouse. Meek Mill Mouse?
God. You see, I was taking...
Somebody draw that.
I was taking a really good, really deep cut New Girl reference, and then you ruined it.
Yep. That's what I do here. Anyway, the reviews are in. Neither one of us has played it. I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan with as far as I played the crap out of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure I did everything in Kingdom Hearts 1. I even beat Sephiroth, who was a major pain in the ass. And fun fact, voiced by NSYNC's Lance Bass in Kingdom Hearts 1.
I did the same thing with Kingdom Hearts 1, and then I never got to play Kingdom Hearts 2.
I played the crap out of Kingdom Hearts 2. I can't remember if I 100%ed Kingdom Hearts 2 like I did 1, but really good. Never played any of the side games because I never had the handhelds for them. And now the story is so convoluted, I'm kind of intimidated for it. But I do want to play this. It's just on my backlog of like other games I've finished, like Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, South Park: The Fractured But Whole, Marvel Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So maybe I'll get to it by this time next year. And it seems like there's a good reason to want to get into it. Most of the reviews have been actually pretty positive. We've got the review roundup courtesy of Stephanie Nunley of VG2247, which is a thing we're going to be doing whenever they do a review roundup. We're going to go ahead and use that because they
round everything up.
They round everything up, put up all the big review scores. So we're going to run that down.
Review roundup.
Come on, it's time to play.
God.
Review roundup.
All right, we can
see. This is what you got to do. You got to stop doing stuff like that because then I get derailed.
Yeah, you see, that's the issue. You got to focus on the one thing.
I don't like to focus. All right. Games Radar gave it a 4 out of 5. The Games Machine 9.5. US Gamer 4.5 out of 5. Press Start a 9. IGN 8.7. GamesBeat a 90 out of 100. GameSpot an 8, and then Polygon, with the lone dissenting review so far amongst like the bigger reviews that was in the roundup, they don't give a score, but their headline was Kingdom Hearts 3 ends the series with a whimper. So they did not receive it too well.
They enjoyed the game, but it was it seemed like they were a little bit harsher and more focused on some of the other things that people had issues with it, such as that some of the different stories, especially I was hearing like the stories with Frozen and Tangled, were focused way too much on that and taking you really far out of the main story, and then you'd have one random thing from the main story make a quick appearance in that and then disappear.
Wasn't that also kind of the way that Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 were done too? Because I recall, like, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, you were very much just replaying some of the scenes from the movie, and, like, not until, like, the very end, really, did you get involved with the larger story with the darkness and the Heartless.
That's part of it, is they did do that, and it seems like they lean a little bit too heavy, like heavier than they did in Kingdom Hearts 1 on that with these other ones. But then with this, you also have things like in the Toy Story world, you actually play in an entirely new story that takes place canonically in between the different movies. So you have a brand new Toy Story story that you're playing in this game. And I think that's part of what it was, is, all right, well, you were doing this with one thing, and then you just kind of didn't do it with the rest. And like I said, each area has their own special thing you could do. Like with Toy Story World, you get to do like mech battles and stuff. And with Arendelle from Frozen, it was like sledding. And it wasn't that good. I think it was just they were focusing more on that kind of stuff, and it took them out of the game more than they wanted.
I guess. I mean, the IGN guys, they didn't have a problem with it. It doesn't seem like anybody else had a problem with it. The IGN guy, he said he was a longtime fan of Kingdom Hearts, and he thought that they delivered. He didn't think they would be able to pull it off, but they actually did. And he thinks it wraps up the story and gives it a satisfying conclusion.
Although he did also state that he did predict a lot of the stuff that happened because of the fact that he'd had so long to ruminate on it.
Well, I mean, yeah, when it takes, like, when did Kingdom Hearts 2 come out? 15 years ago? And then you've had, like, how many? Like, 5 different games that have expanded the lore. I mean, as convoluted as it is, you can kind of figure it out.
Are you saying Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2004?
It did not. I think it came out in, like, 2006, 2007.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Kingdom Hearts 1, I think, came out in around 2003, 2004.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember Kingdom Hearts 2 came out when I was in college, because I remember being in the taking up a lot of time in the common room in the college, in my college apartment in my junior year, pissing off my roommates, just playing Kingdom Hearts 2 all day.
Yep.
Some of them were cool with it though and watched along, but I took up a lot of time in there.
Yeah.
All right. The other review roundup is for Resident Evil 2, the remake that came out, and apparently it is really, really good. Some people are saying Game of the Year worthy. That's what VG247's headline says. They do not score, so we got their stuff. This is also their review roundup, courtesy of Sheriff Syed. And the roundup is VG247 says Capcom casually drops Game of the Year material in January. Eurogamer, they only give a recommended or not recommended rating apparently, and they recommended the game. US Gamer, 4.5 out of 5. PC Gamer, 89 out of 100. GamesBeat, 85 out of 100. PC Games N, 8. Polygon, they were very positive on it. Again, they don't give out a review, so their headline was, Resident Evil 2 is everything a video game remake should be. IGN, 8.8 and 9, I guess is for the different scores, or like, I guess different versions. 8, 8, and 9, I think it says, not 8.8, right?
It says 8.8, and then a space, and then 9.
All right, so we'll just say 8.8.
Whatever.
And 9. Guardian gave it a 5 out of 5. GameSpot gave it a 9. Telegraph, a 5 out of 5. CG Magazine, 8.5. EGM, 9.5. Push Square, 8. Press Start, 10. Stevivor, 10. Video Gamer, 9. Games Radar Plus, 4 out of 5. And Easy Allies, a 9. So, Resident Evil 2, I remember that game scared the crap out of me when I was young. Very good game. I'm not a huge Resident Evil fan. I watched my friends play Resident Evil 2, and I played Resident Evil 3 myself, but I was never able to beat it.
Resident Evil 4 was really good.
Resident Evil 4 I did play also. That was really good. I don't think I've played a game since 4. But
I just hope that the police have fixed their precinct so you don't have to go around and complete a bunch of puzzles to get 3 gems just to get access to the evidence room, because that just seems like a very sloppy way and overcomplicated way of getting to the evidence room.
All police departments don't do that? I thought that was standard protocol.
No, surprisingly, it's not the case.
Oh, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, Resident Evil 2 remake, pretty good. You might want to check it out. You want to take? Actually, I'll take these ones if you want.
Sure.
Or if you want, you can.
You go.
We're on to gaming news now. So the first bit of gaming news: Nintendo Switch was the best-selling console in 2018 in the U.S. They beat out the PS4 at the end of the year. The excerpt from Colin Stevens' IGN says Nintendo Switch has reached the highest annual sales, both in dollar sales and units sold for any hardware platform, since the PS4 broke the previous record in 2015. Throughout the year, NPD has reported PS4 as the best-selling console of 2018. Though in November, Nintendo beat it out for a single month. It appears Switch's holiday success snowballed and ultimately put it above PS4 in the U.S. for 2018. Nintendo Switch also notably generated the highest hardware dollar sales for a single platform in December, since Wii set the previous record in December 2009 and hit the highest unit sales for a single platform since December 2010. After its first year on the market, Nintendo reportedly doubled Switch production.
Which I can't say I'm too surprised about.
Yeah, neither can I. The Switch has been really good.
Mm-hmm.
It helps the fact that it can be used as a mobile or like handheld.
Yeah, and it also helps on top of the fact that it was released at a different time after PS4 and Xbox One, and so most people probably already had that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I really do want to Switch eventually.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah. Other MPD news: Red Dead Redemption 2 tops U.S. game sales in 2018, and Smash Brothers wins December. The article excerpt, again from Colin Stevens at IGN, says, according to the December 2018 NPD report, Red Dead Redemption 2 was the best-selling game in 2018 in the United States, while Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was the best-selling game of December. It's been a close race between Red Dead Redemption 2 and Call of Duty Black Ops 4, earning the title of best-selling game of the year. Between the two of them, as Black Ops 4 beat Red Dead Redemption 2 out as the best-selling game of October, while Red Dead Redemption 2 won out in November. As of November, Black Ops 4 had been the best-selling game of the year, though their positions have ultimately switched. Though exact sales numbers haven't been released, NPD analyst Matt Piscatella took to Twitter to confirm the race for the best-selling game of 2018 was very close. In fact, he mentioned that Black Ops 4's digital PC sales aren't tracked by the NPD group, which very well could have placed it above Red Dead Redemption 2 in overall sales if they did. So, technically, Red Dead Redemption 2 won out, but they didn't.
Yep.
Technically. So, it's like, just to show how close it is between them.
Yeah.
So, props to Red Dead Redemption 2, and also, props to Smash Bros. Ultimate for being the highest selling console game in December, which was obviously expected.
Yes.
Then next up, we got Anthem. Anthem it started its VIP demo yesterday, but we've got all the information. It's coming up soon. If you want to know what's going on, we're going to run through that real quick.
I'm just going to quickly point out that I did not realize this game was coming out this soon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's creeping up quick. I didn't realize this or Kingdom Hearts 3 were coming out like so soon. Like January crept up on me.
Yep.
Anyway, info on the Anthem, all the Anthem information stuff from Austin Goss on Polygon. The VIP demo going on right now. It's happening this weekend. Started yesterday on the 25th, goes until the 27th. You can get it across all platforms: PC, PS4, Xbox One. And you can the only way you can get access to it, is if you pre-ordered or have EA Access or Origin Access subscription. The open demo will take place, I believe that's next weekend, February 1st to February 3rd, again, across all three platforms, and it's open to everybody. Then there's early access on February 15th on PC only, and you have to have a subscription to Origin Access Premier. However, also on February 15th, if you are on PC and Xbox and you have a EA Access or Origin Access basic subscription, you can get 10 hours of full access, 10 hours of access to the full game on the 15th. And then the public release date is February 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually my anniversary.
There you
my
go.
girlfriend. And the public release date, that's for all the consoles, all the platforms that it's on, which is PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Yep.
So, I got to take a look at the Anthem beta real quick. I was watching Ms. 5000 Watts, who is normally a Destiny content creator, play the game. It looks fun. I feel like it seems more fun almost playing than watching. Maybe I gotta like play it to get a feel for it, but it feels very much like Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3 type gameplay, and the multiplayer modes. If you remember the multiplayer mode for Mass Effect 3,
it was fun.
Feels similar to that, where like it's not so much like wave based, but like the way that the combat happens and like the health bars and the different levels of the health bars and pulling off combos and stuff like that feels very much like that Mass Effect 3 multiplayer combat but in an MMO type setting, kind of, or a shared shooter type setting.
I'm okay with that.
So, yeah, pretty cool. I'm now my interest is peaked in it, because before then I was like, I don't know if I could get behind this. Like, Anthem looks pretty, but I'm also not like exactly like drawn to the aesthetic that they're using. Like, the graphics and the visuals don't impress me, I guess, even though it is visual. It's just not doing it for me for some reason. But hopefully the gameplay do instead.
Yeah.
All right, then we have a sort of gaming related story that I wanted to make sure that we touched on, because it continues the saga of Defy Media. It's more of a YouTube story, but this is a story from a YouTube gaming creator, so I wanted to talk about it. Matt Pat of the Game Theorist and the Film Theorist breaks his silence on his issues with Defy Media, which stole a combined $1.7 million from he and 49 other creators. So Matt Pat just yesterday, on the 24th, released a video that just said they stole $1.7 million. And real quick, before I get into this quote and this video, Big Stupid asked me a quick question, which I haven't answered in a while. If I'm streaming later today, unfortunately, I will not be live streaming any reactions to TakeOver. I'm going to be spending time with the girlfriends, since I'm going to be doing Royal Rumble tomorrow. Anyway, back to the story. So Matt Pat went on a long talk about how, like, his history, about how he worked for Defy for a year, how he knew the guy who became the boss at Defy, how they became kind of friends, and how basically he exploited him to get him to sign with Defy for like a little bit of time, or for the time being, and basically take money from him as Defy was basically going out of business. So here's a quote from Matt Pat. He was talking about the ups and downs of his years, which included the birth of his child, but also Ronnie, the editor, longtime editor and partner in the Game Theorists. He had been battling depression for years, and he finally succumbed to suicide this year. So Matt was going over just recapping all of that stuff, and then he goes into the main point of the video, which is, but there was one absolute lowest low point of 2018 that I haven't been able to talk about on the channel yet because of legal reasons. Then it continues. And worse yet, it wasn't just a low point for me, but it was also a low point for 50 other creators on this platform that he meant 49, that you love and you watch. Collectively, us 50 had 1.7 million stolen from us. 1.7 million stolen from 50 people. And if that wasn't bad enough, in my case, it was taken from someone who I thought I knew, someone who I thought I could trust, someone who only weeks after, and this is inserted for me for clarification, my wife Stephanie gave birth to our son Oliver, hopped on the phone with Stephanie and I, and lied directly to our faces, knowing full well that he intended to take our money. But oh no, he's gonna offer us some newborn advice. Then it picks up a few minutes later after he goes through his career stuff, and this is coming up towards the wrap up. But someone who I thought had decency, someone who I at the very least saw as a friend or as a somewhat okay boss, would get on the phone and take advantage of someone he knew, and someone he actively knew just had a child. And these sorts of things change you. They make you more cynical, make you more angry, more depressed. You go into every meeting with someone, every collaboration with someone thinking, how is this person gonna screw me over? How are they gonna take advantage of me? You don't feel safe. You have countless sleepless nights wondering who's gonna get you next. How are they gonna steal from you next? It's sad. But the more success that we have on YouTube, that the channels have on YouTube, the bigger you get, the more people are just willing to cheat you. The more they're just looking to exploit you, to work with you, or to not work with you or succeed in partnership with you, but just use you and then throw you away. Doesn't matter. As long as it's a quick, easy buck for someone on the other end.
Yep.
And then he went on and continued, but
my short, quick thing to that is, from my personal experience, thank you, unions.
Yeah.
Help prevent people from being taken advantage of, which unfortunately is the way business works a lot nowadays.
Well, there's also Hank Green also started, and it's still a thing. There's an Internet Creators Guild out there, but I don't know if they're not entirely like a full-fledged union.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just goes to show the ugly business of MCMs, which Matt Pat explained basically what Defy Media did and what other MCMs have done is because they get the AdSense revenue from YouTube before taking their cut and then giving it to the creators, instead of the creators getting it and then paying the MCM their cut, like almost every other kind of service works or deal. They were able to count all of their creators' money that they made in AdSense, like including the stuff that they would eventually give to the creators, as company income and investment income that they would then use to lure investors, lure other creators, and then use it to take advantage and try to like give themselves more money to prevent themselves from being a sinking ship.
Yeah.
And it's why a lot of MCMs, when they get sold, a lot of companies are like, oh crap, what do we do? These numbers are all kinds of off. They lied to us. Now we have to try and sell it or like restructure the business.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of in the last couple of years, a lot of news about MCMs have been like really dirty. And basically, if you're an aspiring YouTuber or a Twitch streamer, I wouldn't go into MCNs.
Yeah, hard pass.
Try to avoid MCNs, or if you want, go check out Matt Pat's video on YouTube. At the very end, he gives you like instructions on his experience and what he recommends you do when dealing with MCNs and what you should demand of MCNs.
There you go.
So I just felt like that was an important thing to discuss.
Yeah.
Other news we've got Sea of Thieves is having a major resurgence on Twitch thanks to streamers such as Summit1G, Dr. Disrespect, and Ninja.
Yeah.
So a new expansion came out. He Shrouded Spoils. And I'm going to take this excerpt from Polygon and read it real quick from Cass Marshall. Most recent expansion packs, Shrouded Spoils, is largely to thank for the recent surge in interest in the game. Rare increased the frequency of PvE events in the world, including Krakens, Megalodons, and Skeleton ships. With Shrouded Spoils, the recent Reaper's Mark flag also helps, allowing players to mark themselves on the map as ready to rumble and increase your chances of PvP. So they're making it easier to get into these epic things that were really cool about Sea of Thieves when it first came out. And it's attracted guys like a Summit, like a Dr. Disrespect, and like a Ninja.
Yeah.
So
like a ninja.
I think it's really cool. I was always really interested in Sea of Thieves when it first came out. And it kind of makes me want to get into it now, like actually buy it.
If I had an Xbox One, I would have been playing it since day one, especially since it looks so much fun to do. And the main thing I've always wanted to see happen on someone playing Sea of Thieves, which I haven't yet. So any of you streamers out there want to do this, you'll get at least me to watch it. Go on as a single person on the little schooner ship thing that you could do by yourself. Find an island where a bunch of people have the larger ship and they're out on the island, and then steal the ship and try sailing the ship, running around like crazy, like a whole Doctor Who thing of one person trying to fly a vehicle that takes several people to do, and just see how they're able to interact with going past other ships and stuff using this giant ship all by themselves.
Yeah.
Something I've always been interested in.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like just going out there and exploring. Like I really enjoy, like I think those are some of the most fun things to watch on Twitch sometimes, those kind of open world, anything can happen type of games, especially involving pirates just going out on the open seas. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what they're going to run into on the journey?
Yep.
Which is cool. Hugo Gonsalves says, "What's up, Murpho brothers?" on the chat. So what is up? And Big Stupid drop us some Dr. Disrespect emos, but I'm not seeing him. You know what? I have it set as the NXT Championship now and not the WWE Championship, but I didn't show him as your advocate. He has access to the NXT title emote that we have here, the sub emote, and he didn't drop it for you. What kind of an advocate is he?
The kind that will learn from his mistake.
See, wow, way to support him and not throw him under the bus. All right, I give you props for that. All right. Anyway, we got a few more news stories left to hit up before we end it, and there it is. There's the NXT Championship emote. See, I mentioned it, and he did it.
There you go.
Good on you, Big Stupid. Mortal Kombat 11's new character Garrus. He apparently has time manipulation powers.
Yeah,
and
it
can
looks
use it
really
in combat.
cool.
So there's an excerpt from an article about it from Michael McWhorter on Polygon. So we just wanted to read off on this just so if you dig Mortal Kombat 11, you can hear just how ridiculous his abilities are.
Well, we could also just talk about it briefly if you want, because I did read into it a lot, and apparently there's a lot of really cool stuff he could do, and I've actually seen clips of people using his abilities to manipulate the clock to
basically
get a cheap win.
like he can add or subtract 30 seconds from the clock. He can do something similar to Tracer's ability where he can like rewind time in case he dies and stuff like that.
Health back. He could also set up like freeze you temporarily, and he could also do things like set up a slight gravity well to help pull the opponent back, in which I saw a match where there was like 30 or something seconds left, and the person froze them, set up a gravity well, and then subtracted 30 seconds from the clock. And so it automatically, the lowest it'll go is 9 seconds.
Yeah.
So there was 9 seconds left, and he was trying to walk towards him to attack him, but because of the gravity well, it would not allow him to do it. So all he had to do was sit
time just ran out.
and just waited for the time to run out while he had more health.
Woof.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that could be exploited badly.
That's what people's plan is going to be.
I guess that's the point of the character.
Yeah, and they did also level it in regards to how much energy or whatever in the game it takes to use the different abilities, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then the final bit of news we have before we get into the gaming quick hits is that Metroid 4 or Metroid Prime 4's development is getting restarted. And I just want to read this quote real quick from Shinya Takahashi, who is the senior managing executive officer of Nintendo. Where he made the announcement. He said, "We have determined that the current development status of the game is very challenged, and we had to make a difficult decision as a development team. We have decided to re-examine the development structure itself and change it. Specifically, we have decided to have the producer, Kensuke Tanabe, work in trust and collaboration with the studio that developed the original Metroid Prime series, Retro Studios in the United States, and restart development from the beginning."
Which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
If you think things aren't going well, it's always good to go back to basics.
Yeah, basically, like it's been in development for a while, and they haven't liked where it's been going. And like you said, it's good to go back to Retro Studios, who helped it, and have them work with it. And good on Nintendo for a bit of transparency.
Yep.
And being honest with people, instead of people being curious what the hell's going on, and then maybe you try to just, because you panic because you don't want to be transparent, you don't want people to know that there's nothing wrong and scare investors, and just, push out a crappy rushed product that everybody hates.
Yep, that's the EA method.
Battlefront 2 much?
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, props on Nintendo for coming out and being open and honest about Metroid 4 Prime 4, and hopefully when it does come out, it kills it.
Yep.
Now on to some gaming quick hits. Overwatch Chinese New Year event. You played it.
Oh yeah, and
started Thursday.
I mean, I'll say compared to other events, it's not that exciting just because their big things were new skins, I guess somewhat themed maps, although they really just used maps that they already have in existence, but mostly the return of Capture the Flag, which never really went away, and I guess what they meant was the return of competitive Capture the Flag. But I've been playing it, and it's fun. The costumes are pretty interesting, but yeah, I'm probably going to try and play some more of it today if I can.
Cool.
Yeah.
Other quick hits. Dragon Ball Fighters. If you have not picked up this game yet, it's pretty good. Don't go online because you'll get destroyed, at least until you put in like hundreds of hours against the CPU and learn combos. But if you just want to go in and have fun and maybe play the story, maybe do some arcade challenges, it is free to play this weekend with Xbox Live Gold and Steam. So go check it out.
There you go.
And then finally, shout out to LaserScope, who works for Hi-Res Studios, because Realm Royale entered its open beta on consoles for PS4 and Xbox One on Tuesday.
Nice.
So if you guys enjoy, LaserScope and Hi-Res, LaserScope's a good dude, one of our mods.
Yep.
Realm Royale's pretty popular, did well on PC, well received on PC. Go give it a try on consoles if you haven't had a chance to do so.
Exactly.
And that will bring us to the end of episode 76 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. Just a friendly reminder, do not forget about the Royal Rumble pool. Check out the Discord server. That is in the show notes in the audio version, on the channel page on Twitch, in the video description on YouTube. Join the Discord server. Let us know in the general chat if you are in. Make sure you get it in before, I'd say about 6 o'clock on Sunday, so that way I have enough time to do the Royal Rumble drawing pool when I do my watch party tomorrow night.
Yep.
Get involved. We'll have some fun. We'll cheer along with different superstars and all that stuff. Thank you to Big Stupid for hitting that Discord command in the chat, so that way people in the chat can know. And so yeah, do not forget, get involved in the Royal Rumble pool for both matches, and come by for the watch party tomorrow night, which is Sunday night. I realized you might not all be listening to this on Saturday or Sunday. But yeah, Sunday night, Royal Rumble watch party. Do not forget, you can watch this episode, this podcast, every single episode is streamed live on Twitch and then is saved as a highlight on Twitch via VOD. So you can watch it in VOD or live at twitch.tv/all_Murpho. Come join in on the chat like Big Stupid, like Hugo, like Footballers.
Laser Scoop.
I don't think Laser Scoop was in the chat today, but
No, but he does.
Yeah, like the guys who do, like KB8200 who came in today. Come in, say hi, get involved in the chat, in the conversation of the podcast. Do not forget, if you if you are on YouTube, if YouTube is your thing, this also goes out in VOD on YouTube at youtube.com/LMurphoReal, so you can watch it there in full. Be sure to like, share, comment, all that good stuff over there. You can also listen to us in the audio version by searching Super Grapple Bros on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and many other places where podcasts are found. Rate, review, and subscribe. We're still hoping to get that official rating on Apple Podcasts. So that way we can be an officially rated podcast, get more people involved in our little Super Grapple Bros community.
It also wouldn't hurt if you guys wanted to share it out on Twitter or tell your friends about it. Word of mouth is usually the best form of advertisement for stuff like this.
Yes. And again, like I mentioned to the Discord server before, in the Discord server, you can also get in your viewer predictions. You have until the first bell rings for TakeOver tonight, Saturday night, to get in your TakeOver predictions. And you have until the first bell rings on the kickoff for Royal Rumble to get your Royal Rumble predictions in. There is a channel in the Discord server for viewer predictions. You will get shouted out if you can beat either of us, tie either of us, or be the viewer with the most amount of correct predictions. So be sure to check that out as well. You can also provide feedback in our feedback channel. You can give us feedback, questions, concerns, trivia, and more. So be sure to go ahead and check out the Discord. You can also give us feedback via email, supergrabbros@gmail.com. And in addition to feedback, we also like to do an announcement whenever we go live with an episode. And I announce when I go live with a gameplay live stream on Discord, but also on Twitter. So follow us there. I am at L_Murpho.
At DMurph_42.
And that's pretty much everything. Big Stupid's telling you that he's coming for you in the predictions.
Good luck.
Yeah. I hope he does. Have good luck.
Good luck.
Not in the Rumble pool, though. On the Rumble pool.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm saying. I've just lost my train of thought. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode 76 Super Guy Bros podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. And we leave you with the kayfabe news headline of the episode.
McMahon finally scrapes the last bits of cement out of Corvette. Took him a while.
Thank you, Austin. Clap, 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 clap. That only took, what, 20 years?
Something like
2
that.
decades? I think that happened in 99. I think it was 20 years.
Okay.
All right.
Quite possible.
That is going to do it for episode 76 of the Super Guy Bros podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. Until we see you again. Peace, deuces. Deuce.
Bye.
Laters. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.
Shut up and sit down.